Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tactics Board. I'm forgetting what number we're on now. Is it like 13 or 14 or something like that, Karl? But welcome everybody. As always, if you are not a member yet of our league, so it is the Footy Accumulators League on the Sky Sports Fantasy Football. It is the code 9976717, 9976717. We're doing well. We're doing well though, Karl, aren't we? Like every week we're improving.
Increasing.
So, we're doing well.
Climbing that mountain. Whereabouts are you now? How did you get on this week?
Right. Okay. So where am I? How many points did you get this week?
How many points? 97 points this week.
Mate, that's ace. And do you know what? I'm going to
Good.
tell you in a minute why I'm so gutted about that. I'm on 88.
Decent.
So I'm up to 273.
Oh, God. My word. So I'm on 318th. I'm 318th, so you're still in front of me.
Yes.
So, yeah. Still a bit away to go.
We've got, but every week my arrow's green constantly now. So I think there might be some players now. If you're one of these players and it's got to about, what are we on, week 13, 14, 15 around now, and your enthusiasm is starting to wane, you're not paying attention as much, keep going, stick with us. This is the time when the people that are concentrating are really going to get the green arrows. And I also have to kind of half slap myself, Karl, because
Go on.
I forgot to do my captains.
Oh, mate. Why? You changed your team, obviously, didn't you? Or tinker around and you just forget your captains.
Yeah, but by the time I remembered on Saturday, the Saturday deadline had gone. So I was able to get Cancelo in for Sunday, but I couldn't get Salah in for Saturday because the deadline had gone. So
I'll take it. I'm happy. I'm going to be honest. I've clawed a few points back there. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
Really.
You've got to stay switched on and you've got to watch the tactics board because we will give you tips.
Yeah, we'll keep you switched on. We just won't keep me switched on to remember to do my captains. Before we crack on and have a look at the team of the week, You're right, mate.
I don't know if I am. No, I am all right. It's been a strange week, hasn't it, for Manchester United fans? I mean, strange week for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think it needed to happen, didn't it, Natalie? He'd taken us as far as he could. But, I mean, look at you there sipping your tea. But, I mean, what winds me up is Manchester United as a club. They've just had a 2-week international break. We said it the other week. They had all that time to make a change. That Watford result, it was going to come one way or another, whether we was getting beat by Watford, whether we was going to get beat by Chelsea. That change was always going to come. So it just goes back to the club being reactive again, as opposed to being proactive and sorting it out before it happens. So it just points to a lack of strategy. It points to the fact that regardless of whatever manager it is, there's going to be issues in, whether we get Poch, whether we get Ten Hag. If we do get Ten Hag, I'd like Van der Sar to come across, but we've got Carrick at the moment, who's the caretaker's caretaker, and it's just nuts, isn't it? It's just a mess.
Give it Carrick. Yeah, mate. I think your problem is that the club is rotten from the top, and it's just seeping all the way down now. You know, like you say, there is no strategy. Oh, it's been brilliant. I've had such a great week, mate.
Good.
Honestly, I've just not stopped smiling because some of the things going on social media with your fans and your players is just embarrassing. How have your players got the gall to write these emotional tweets about the man that they couldn't get themselves up for playing for? Like, they put in zero effort against Watford. It was humiliating. And then 2 days later, they're all like, he's such a great guy. Thanks for bringing me to the club. What a bit like, no, if you just play for the guy. You don't want your tweet. You want you to play for him.
I don't know. I just don't like kind of Twitter apologies or social media apologies in general. Like, if someone misses a penalty and then you have to kind of go on social media and write a big apology for it. You don't. It's your job. You've missed it. Yeah. Move on. Keep going. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, we ain't apologising when we get our picks wrong, are we? We're just like, hey, we tried.
Because it's week in, week out as well. There's not enough paper in the world for us to keep apologising. Flipping it.
Do you know the other stinkers that I had this week? I've had Ivan Toney in from week 1 and I took him out this week and obviously he scored.
Yes.
I put Rafinha in because
I've
gone for this 5 in midfield. Check, watch the internationals, check the injuries, put Rafinha in, and then he's ill.
Yeah. Ill. That's not even a good one, is it? He's ill. When he's ill, you're like, oh, what can I do? There's nothing I can do. But this game week, Natalie, don't forget that there's 2 games in this game week. Have you seen already? This week, because there's games at this weekend, and then there's games in the week as well.
Do they count as the same game week?
Yes, in the same game week. So it's worth keeping an eye out on that when you choose.
How many captains can we have then? 1 million?
You must be able to have 4, maybe, captains.
Whoa, brilliant.
So it's worth keeping that in mind when you're choosing your team, when you're choosing your captains. But yeah, lots of games this game week.
Wow, yeah. So there's games. Oh my goodness. So there's games Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be able to have a captain for every one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to do my captain. Don't forget.
Yeah. It could all change this time next week. It could all change. I could be in front of you, Natalie. I'm going to be honest.
No, I'm on the green arrow. I love my team now. I'm really happy with my team. I'm actually going to make no changes this week. I'm going to keep an eye on Rafinha just to see if in the press conference they say that he's still ill.
Still poor.
But apart from that, I'm dead happy now.
Good. I'm glad. Should we do team of the week?
Let's stop chatting crap, shall we? Right, team of the week. Now, my first what I noticed in team of the week this week is 3 players from the country's top 3 clubs. So 3 City players, 3 Liverpool players, 3 Chelsea players. So the big 3 are really starting to dominate the league and fantasy now. There's 1 Villa player, 1 Palace player. So we're getting a little bit of mixture there, but the core of your team has just got to be coming from City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Would you agree?
Yeah. I would agree in a sense. You mean in top club in terms of standing this season, because I wouldn't say top club in general. But no, I would agree in the sense that the highest performing players come from the highest performing teams. That makes sense, doesn't it, really? I mean, our first one is Alisson, who got you 13 points this week. He's our goalkeeper. He had an absolute shocker the other week, Natalie, against West Ham, as we stressed.
Yeah.
But this week, he did well. He got extra points for saves, extra points for passes, clean sheets this week. But I've had a look. He's only selected by 2.3% of top 1K teams. Why do you think he's not selected more? That's strange.
That's nuts, really, isn't it? When you think about the defence that's in front of him as well, and you're totally right about his West Ham performance. I mean, he needed to bounce straight back after that West Ham game. But looking at him, so he had -2 in that West Ham game, obviously. 3 the game before that, and he clocked up 11 when he played United. None in the Watford game. Did he not play in that game? No. And then, was that when they were away? Yeah, so do you know what? He is having a lot of game weeks, right? He's not in double figures, which is really interesting. I'm so sorry, it's on my nose is streaming. How disgusting. If you keep seeing me do this, please be assured by me that it is just because I've got a runny nose.
I'm glad this is over Zoom.
Yeah, me too. You don't want to see this up close right now. God, no. Right. But yes, only in 2.3% of the top 1K team. So yeah, he's clocked you in there with 13 points this week. So 1 of 3 Liverpool players in the team this week. Right, I'm going to move forward now onto the defence. Going to start off with the 1 Aston Villa player that's in the team this week, and it is Tyrone Mings. Probably fair to say, mate, that he's had a difficult start to the season. Probably there started to be a bit of kind of expectation on him, people looking at him. And then, difficult start to the season. But then Gerrard comes in.
All turns around.
What do you think he said to him? Because then he had an incredible game. So obviously Villa beat Brighton. He's got a points for goals, clean sheets, shots, starting 11, getting you a huge 16 points.
I mean, it's mad. He's got extra points for shots. He's a centre-back. So how's he gone and got extra points for shots? That's just absolutely nuts. I mean, Gerrard's arrival just seems to have done the trick, doesn't it? And give Villa a bit of a jolt. What do you think of Gerrard as a manager? Can you see it? Can you see it long term? Can you see it working?
I've got a friend who's a Villa fan now, speaking to him about it, and he just feels like it's a gamble. So it's a gamble that could definitely pay off, but it is a gamble, and I'm not sure Aston Villa are in the position where they should be gambling. What do you think?
I don't know. I think he seems to have raised expectations a little bit. I think despite me being from Manchester and being a United fan and whatever, I've always had an underlying respect for Steven Gerrard, for the type of player he was, for the type of leader he was for his team, despite obviously being from where he's from, but we can't help that. I think he's going to be a great manager, you know. I actually do. He just gives me that vibe. He ran it when he was on the field, and he commands respect, and you can see it in him. He's done well at Rangers as well, don't forget. So he's not just come into it kind of like how Frank Lampard did, pretty fresh. He's done it there at Rangers, which wasn't easy. I mean, Celtic were the main team when he took over. So, yeah, we will see. I like Aston Villa as well, big club. So, Fingers crossed. And Tyrone Mings, he had a difficult summer, didn't he, playing for England and that type of thing, and then coming back to Aston Villa. So maybe he was a little bit leggy. But yeah, got a performance out of him this weekend, didn't he?
And I totally agree. Gerrard is the sort of player that will command respect from his team. Unlike your former manager. Okay, let's move on. So we've got...
Yeah, go on. I was nearly putting a PSG shirt on today, and I didn't, out of respect.
Oh, it's all right. Fergie's got you lot covered for that, Annie. Is it Fergie at the team hotel again, giving them a talk? Yeah, this is how you beat City. Well done,
we'll
Fergie.
help him. We'll help him.
Okay, so moving on then into the back four, we've got 2 Chelsea players, 1 City player, and a Liverpool player, because essentially fullbacks are taking over the fantasy world. 3 fullbacks in the team of the week: Cancelo, Reese James, and Alexander Trent Arnold.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Reese James, he got
Alexander Arnold. Not
Trent
Arnold.
Alexander Arnold. TAA.
Yes, tongue twister for me there.
Let's start with Reese James, shall we? He got you 13 points. He got you an assist, a clean sheet, a man of the match. He's been in the team of the week now, Natalie, 4 times this week. And like you say, there are just so many good right backs, right wing backs, left wing backs, whatever you want to say. I mean, back in the day, it wasn't cool to be a right back. Like Jamie Carragher once said, no one wanted to be a Gary Neville. Do you know what I mean? You're not in the playground shouting Gary Neville. But now it's been made cool because their position is so vital and they see so much of the ball. Like, take the next one, for example, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who got you 13 points, clean sheet, 2 assists. The number of assists that he is getting is absolutely mad. I saw a stat in a week, Natalie, that said, since the start of the 2018-19 season, Trent Alexander-Arnold has provided 38 Premier League assists. That's 4 more than any other player in that period. And he's a wing-back. Do you know what I mean? He's not a centre attacking mid. He's not a Kevin De Bruyne. He's not whatever. Do you know what I mean? He's a wing-back. It's nuts.
Yeah, and Reece James as well, according to Sky's power rankings, is currently the most informed player in the league. So Reece James, as a full-back, 8 goal involvements in his last 7 starts.
Mm-hmm. And he scored the other night in Champions League, didn't he, against Juventus? So
yes,
flipping heck.
Yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, what a performance? Yeah, that was. So yes, Reece James is in there. He's in the 20% of the top 1,000, 20.1% of the top 1,000. So we got your starting points, assist, clean sheet, and man of the match performance. So yeah, 20% now of the. He's points wise. 13-4, 29-14. He's looking pretty consistent the last few games.
I think that's just Chelsea defenders in general as well, because we've obviously done Reece James, we've done Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Antonio Rudiger is now popping up with 14 points. He got you a goal and a clean sheet, and he's a threat in both boxes, Natalie. That's why he's the 4th highest scoring player in fantasy football.
Gosh, you know what I mean? That's insane.
As a centre-back as well. He's giving you clean sheets, he's scoring your goals. He's selected by 16% of normal players, right? But 80% of top 1K teams have him in. 80%.
Wow. And he started 11 of the 12 Premier League games for Chelsea started. So we've talked for a while about which Chelsea defenders to have in, because obviously, like, I had Chilwell at the start and then I took him out for Alonso. I had a bit of a mare with my Chelsea defenders, but he definitely seems to be settling a bit now, you know, because Rudiger's fairly consistent.
Yeah, I was so chuffed this weekend because I think Chilwell took the corner and Rudiger scored, and I've got Chilwell and Rudiger. I was like, oh my God, an assist and a goal out of my defensive partnership. He's got a orange flag against Mane, so I might have to look at that for this weekend, because
especially if there's a lot of games
last night in the Champions League. Yeah, so we will have to see. You do the final defender then, Natalie. You take it away. Seeing as it's João Cancelo, seeing as it's your boy, go on, tell me about him.
João Cancelo, 13 points this week. Did you see the pass?
I saw it. I saw the assist. I saw the clean sheet.
Don't you try and sit there and act all cool and pretend it wasn't insane.
I mean, he's a great player, isn't he? We've said it before, and that's why he's the 2nd highest scoring player in the game. Do you know what I mean? But what I wanted to bring to your attention, Natalie.
Oh, here he goes.
I'm not even going for him here. How many goals has João Cancelo scored in the Premier League this season? Can you tell me?
I don't know. No.
0. Right?
Okay.
And that's not even.
Are we now saying it's not good because there's a fullback he's not scored?
No, completely opposite. What I am saying is that is how good he is, because all of his points in terms of fantasy football have come from clean sheets, have come from assists, have come from passes consistently, week in, week out. To make all those points up for goals he hasn't scored, he's doing it by just playing his game and doing his job. And that is why he's been in the team of the week 5 times.
5 times. Now, no player has in the Premier League this season has more touches, more passes into the final third, or made more progressive passes than João Cancelo.
Wow. I mean, that's nuts, isn't it? And this is what I mean. Wing backs, so popular, so cool now. Like, kids now will be growing up thinking, I want to be like Trent Alexander-Arnold. I want to be like Reese James.
I want to whip that ball in.
Do you know what I mean? And that makes a big difference. You don't think it is, but it does make such a big difference. And just going back to João Cancelo, he is selected by 25% of normal players, but 94%
people
of
get
the
them
top
on in.
teams have him. I mean, we can't sit here week in, week out and tell you to put these players in your side if you're not doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're right, because in our game, in the Sky game, these bonus points are huge. And so you're so right, because he's picking up, so this week, 3 points for passes. He's picking up bonus points like all the time. Yeah. Passes tier, so, you know, shots bonus points, passes bonus points, passes bonus points, just looking back. So, yeah, come on, people, get him in.
And let's move on, shall we, to midfield. And Rodri, 14 points. Rodri, you're going to talk about him now as well, aren't you, Natalie? Shall I just go make a drink while you do Rodri and Bernardo Silva? I don't want to listen to it anymore.
Hey, mate, come on. You might learn something about defensive midfielders here.
Go on then, I'll make notes.
Rodri.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign one. That would be my tip. Sign one.
Transfer list. Defensive.
Now, do you want to pop that in the post to Michael Carrick?
I will. Ed Woodward.
So, Rodri has been, I've said it a few times, criminally underrated is my general view of Rodri. Because for me, he's been nothing short of phenomenal for about the last 18 months. And he's gone so unnoticed. And I often think that that's a good thing, because in his position, it means to me that he's doing his job really well. And he is just, he's just incredible. And he is that proper example of what your team is missing. You know, that solid person that stands there in front of the back four, protects them, but also has the eyes to see what's going on in front of him as well. So Rodri, I think as well, this is a big statement from a City fan. I think that we're finally in a confident position that when Fernandinho retires, God, that which will be awful. You know, we've got a perfect replacement now. There's no worries there from us. So yeah, it's lovely. It's really lovely having a wonderful defensive midfielder in your team, Karl.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, you're right though. That's kind of the notes that I made on him was goes under the radar, gets his job done. That's it. Like, great strike. Yeah, he scored well. But I mean, even off the pitch, I read something the other day. Did Pep Guardiola come out with a quote saying he doesn't have tattoos, he doesn't have earrings, he doesn't have long hair, he looks like a centre defensive midfielder. But he's out there. He's been to uni, Annie, or something. He's been to uni.
He was playing professional football while doing his degree, living in digs.
Well, exactly. And he's just gone and did he buy his first car or something? Was a Corsa?
Yeah.
Mine. So,
well,
fair play.
What a man. So he's only in 1% of the top 1,000 team. He's not a massive point scorer, to be honest. He's consistent. He's not a massive point scorer. So we got points this week for a goal, man of the match performance, and bonus points for passes. So 14 points this week. Only 56 for the season so far. You know, five the week before, 5, 2, 2, 5. So he's, you know, but I think that's just the nature of his position. It's not a massive point scoring position overall. But for this week, he's in.
He definitely is. Who do you want to do next? Do you want to do Bernardo Silva next? Do you want to keep on the City vibe?
Yeah, let's keep on the City vibe.
Go on.
And then I'll take a breath and let you do Kante.
Yeah. I'll just...
The man that still broke my heart in the Champions League final, obviously. So Bernardo Silva, between Bernardo Silva and João Cancelo, our players of the season, you know, easily the two of them are the best players in our team this season. We love Bernardo Silva. We love, you know, the only man in the world that knew he'd scored at Old Trafford for a good few seconds while everyone else was like, why is he saying, oh, we scored! What a guy, what a character, what a player, having arguably his best season of his life, certainly up there with the season he had 18-19 when he was just unplayable. He's in 7% of the top 1,000 teams. Starting 11, goal, bonus passes, bonus shots. You've got to love Bernardo Silva, come on.
I mean, I wouldn't say love. No, I definitely wouldn't use that terminology. But I've got to give it to Pep. He gets these players right, and they kind of come in and they have a bit of a dodge season, and they're a bit wishy-washy, and then the next season they bang on it. Do you know what I mean? And there's the same with Bernardo Silva. He had a bit of a washy season last season, and now he's back on it. Do you know what I mean? And I think that comes down to managerial prowess. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, fair play.
He gets us. He's one of those players, you've probably got them, every team's got them. One of those players that gets you, that gets the fans, that gets the culture. And, I feel like Bernardo Silva's one of us.
Even in terms of like nastiness, right? I've seen Bernardo Silva. I think it was even walking in at Old Trafford. He's very brave of him. When he walked in, he's kind of like, I think the fans were chanting at him, and he was kind of like smirking or whatever. And like, I kind of like that. I would, if it was me, I'd give people stick back. I think he deserved it.
When Liverpool won the league, that's my favourite one. Is when Liverpool won the league and we gave them a guard of honour, and all the players are clapping, but Bernardo Silva standing there with a cup of tea, just like
bitter. Fair play.
I'm so there for that. I'm so bitter. Right.
Let's actually move on to the nicest player in football. Let's do it. Let's move on to the nicest player in football with Angola Kante, who got you 13 points. He got you a goal, extra passes, extra shots. Just a nice guy. I mean, Natalie, with Chelsea, I don't know what their best 11 is. And that's a compliment, because whoever comes in, it works. It's like a machine. Like, you take a part out, you replace it, it works. You take a player out, you replace it, it works. And that's down to Tuchel. That's down to Tuchel kind of making the whole squad feel like they're needed, making the whole squad feel like they have a purpose. And I think if you could level anything at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did he always do that? Was there players like Donny van der Beek and a few others that kind of, Jesse Lingard, that are on the fringes that didn't feel important? And maybe that's kind of where the destabilization, that was hard, came about. Thank you very much. It's in all these books. And I think that's where Tuchel kind of comes to the forefront. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is just, again, managerial prowess from Thomas Tuchel. So fair play.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, I think that 3-0 victory over Leicester that they had was a real sort of statement result, because obviously Leicester are a decent team, and they just played so well, and Tuchel came out after the game and just kind of really, really bigged up Kante and just said how outstanding he was and how good he was in that team. And I agree with you. Who knows what their best starting 11 is, and that is definitely to their benefit. So only in 0.1% of the top 1,000 team, but yeah, picked you up a big 13 points this week. Right, so moving on then, we've got a front. Oh, do you know what? I just realised, Paul. I didn't mention Watford when I said. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When did Dennis? Right, I looked at this last night. Dennis has slipped into the team of the week overnight. Has he landed some bonus points or something? Did you look at this last night?
I looked at it yesterday morning. Dennis, you've caught us all out, mate.
Dennis must have got himself some bonus points, because he was not in this when I looked last night.
No, he's caught me out as well. He's pushed Mohamed Salah out, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know, because that's what I had in my notes. I was like, where's the third Liverpool player?
Yeah, so Dennis.
Well done, Dennis.
Well done, Dennis. Well done. I mean, Dennis the Menace definitely got you a goal at the weekend against United. He got you assists, man of the match, starting a level. He got you all those points. I mean, Watford were on fire. They really, really were on fire. I mean, United allowed them to play the way they played, but you've got to be there to optimise on that and take advantage of it. And Dennis definitely did. Yeah,
definitely. When you're playing a team that's playing so poorly, you've got to just jump on and take advantage of that. And Watford certainly did that. So looking at his points there, wow, yeah. Dennis caught us all out there, but well done to him. He's only in 0.3% of the top 1,000 teams, which I find interesting, considering he's such a low. He's 5.5.
Yeah, he's cheap.
I thought he might have been in more. He's fairly cheap. 63 points so far for the season, but a few. Yeah, looking over, he's had 4 high-scoring games. Yeah.
And let's move on now, shall we, to our final striker, shall we? A change to our actual scheduling is Christian Benteke, who got you 16 points this week. He got you 2 goals, man of the match award, and extra points for shots. And again, Natalie, he's a cheap striking option at £7.8 million. And they've got decent fixtures coming up: Crystal Palace, Villa and Leeds, and then Manchester United. Whether we've sorted ourselves out by then, hopefully we have. But yeah.
Yeah, he seems to really have benefited from Patrick Vieira. He seems to be a bit revitalised this season and kind of enjoying Vieira's style. And yeah, I think with the good form that he's in just now, looking at those fixtures ahead, he could be a right gem to having your team coming up for 7.8 million.
And what a career he's had. Do you know what I mean? He was at Aston Villa, then went to Liverpool, didn't work out, found himself at Palace. And it's not been all plain sailing, has it, at Palace for him? But yeah, like you say, he's kind of coming to fruition under Patrick Vieira.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the team of the week.
It is.
That's updated while we were doing this, pretty much.
I love it. Keep us on our toes.
Now, I have to admit, I was texting you before. I found one to watch difficult this week. I think outside of the kind of obvious people, and you know, we try and go a little bit left field sometimes when we're doing this. I'm finding it a little bit uninspired this week, so I've had to really rack my brains. But then when I did choose my person, I'm quite comfortable with it. So do you want to go first with your one to watch?
I can do, yeah, of course. So my one to watch this week is another Watford striker, Josh King. So I'm looking at the Watford striker as one of the best value for money strikers you can buy at the moment at just £7.6 million. Since his first start under Claudio Ranieri in Gameweek 9, no player, Natalie, not even Mo Salah, can better him for goal attempts or even goals scored. So he's going under everyone's radar, and these are the players that I want to highlight for you. And I know it's easy to avoid smaller sides like Watford when it comes to fantasy football transfers, because I do it myself. Like, I'm guilty of it. But with much more pricey strikers, they're really struggling for form, aren't they? So a £7.6 million striker that's getting you regular games should be worth a look. Do you know what I mean? Josh King, £7.6 million, more points than Ronaldo, then Aubameyang, then Harry Kane, then Firmino, then Lukaku. I could go on. I mean, I know some of those players have been injured, but Josh King is there week in, week out. And there's a few Watford players like Ismail Assar, like Dennis we've just spoke about, that might be going to the African Cup of Nations. So he will be even more of a key player than Josh King being from Norway, Norwegian. And whilst we're also talking about Ismail Assar, whilst we're on that, he, of course, missed 2 penalties at the weekend against Manchester United. So Josh King may now be on penalties too. Yeah. So that could be a bit of a bonus for you if you go with Josh King. So for all those reasons I've just listed above, Josh King is my one to watch for this week now.
Love it. Yes, love it. How many percentage of teams is he in?
I actually don't even know, you know. I actually don't even know. Let me look dead quick.
Well, he's in. Oh, yeah. Oh, we do plan this, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely do plan this.
Oh, 0.1%. So you're right.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's definitely gone under the radar.
Oh, massively. And yeah, he's picking up points. Yeah, I like it.
Surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. Right.
Who's yours? Tell me your one to watch for this week.
So my one to watch this week is Raul Jimenez. So it is pretty much a year now to the day that he had that horrific injury, which could have killed him. And the fact that he's recovered so well and he's getting back to his best form, I just think is amazing. And I read somewhere this week that the BBC have done a documentary about his recovery, and I'm definitely gonna watch it, because it was a horrendous injury that he had. So a year on, he's really starting to get back to form. He scored the goal that Wolves beat West Ham. Mate, can you believe that Wolves are 6th in the table right now? Like, go on, Wolves! Like, I love it when an unexpected team gets up there. So Wolves in 6th place. Obviously, we played West Ham, who are like the informed team in the Premier League at the minute, or were, and beat them, and really deserved to beat them. Had an incredible, 90-minute performance. He scored. He's man of the match, and I think they've got Norwich, and then they've got Burnley. Now, after that, Wolves' fixtures definitely start getting tougher. They've got Liverpool and then City. But if you're looking for someone for the next couple of games, maybe you've got someone that's injured, or maybe you've got someone that you're uncertain about, and you're looking for the next couple of games, I think Jimenez is your one, with Norwich and Burnley coming up.
Yeah, no, that could be a shout. Definitely Norwich and Burnley. But then after that, like you say, Liverpool, City, Brighton, Chelsea. Oh, my word. So you could get him in.
Get him out there, Mike. Yeah.
If you need a short-term striker, get him in. Yeah. Definitely get him in.
Sure.
And it's good to see him back. It is good to see him back. And I didn't realise, God, it's been a year. But yeah, back on the score sheet, back in the Wolves team. Brilliant.
Yes, the Wolves team that are in 6th. Above your team.
I know. But that's why when you were saying it, I was just like, oh yeah, it's great to see. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I know, but they're 2 points ahead of you as well. Brilliant. Love it.
Buzzing.
Yeah. Look, I was just enjoying the sight of that table there. I can just get lost in looking at you
that's
there.
Fine. That's fine.
Right, mate. Well, thank you so much. I'm sorry I've been a bit bummed up and a bit snotty this whole show.
All right. I forgive you.
Well, thank you.
If we was in a studio, I wouldn't. But seeing as
to be fair, I don't think I would have come in to you. I wouldn't want to give you this cold. I am dashing off now. As City are playing PSG tonight. Are you going to be watching?
Yeah, I'll be watching Poch, making notes on Pochettino, sending them to Ed Woodward along with centre defensive mid. That's what I need to send him as well, don't
Natalie says Rodri. Yeah.
Rodri.
Do you think Poch is coming?
You know what? I think he is, because that just came out of nowhere, didn't it? It was when we spoke a few weeks back about United. It was Brendan Rodgers, it was Ten Hag, it was a few others. Poch was never in there. But seeing as Zidane doesn't want to come, and it sounds like Zidane wants to either take the France job or the PSG job and stay in France, and that would make sense, wouldn't it? But I don't think that'll happen till the end of the season. But we will see. We will see. Good luck, PSG. Allez, PSG. Allez, Paris. Let's go. Come on, Pochettino. Let's go.
Good luck to you all for your game week. Don't forget, as Karl said, there is 4 or 5 different game days in the next week. Get your captains in. That is me writing that on my hand. Do captains properly. And if you haven't already, join our league, 997-6717. Have a good week, everybody.